Hi everyone, this is Carolyn from Known as Nutty Crafts. And today what we're going to do, we're going to be making some seashell angels. So they're all different sizes. You can do all different things with them depending on your trim. We got some bigger ones. And you can make these. These are great to give as party favors, or if you want to give it to somebody for a baby shower or party favor. Whatever, for Christmas. So we're going to make some of these tonight. So let me put these guys out of our way over here and let's get started. Now, this one I started painting, so I'm going to go over the painting with this with you. And let me see if I have a little bit more white. This has one coat of paint on it. Now these seashells, I found all these seashells, they're all the same. They're just different sizes. I found them along the beach when I was down in Florida. So I decided let's make some pretty little angels with these guys. Oops, got paint on my table there. So let me get my brush a little wet here. Now this has one coat on it. I already done the coat on this. Now sometimes, because see how dark it is, now you can leave it that way if you want it to be, or if you want it to be more whiter. And I'm just using a simple paint like this just to paint these. And I'm going to go over the materials that you're going to need for this in just a moment to make these. But let's just get a second coat on this baby here to get it dry or going. Okay, so that's all you're going to do. And again, it depends how many coats, depending how dark the shell is, that you're going to have to use on there. That's the easy part. Okay, so for this project, you will need your seashells. You can find them possibly in your local craft store. You can go online and see if you can order some. Or if you're in a place that sells a lot of seashells, like down in the South and all, go for it. You can also get seashells like this. These are kind of neat. You can go ahead and write names and stuff on them if you want to, or a year or whatever. And like I said, you can do any color, anything with these. So you're going to need some white. This is just a plain white from this brand. You can use any white if you want to. If you want to make them different colors, you can paint them different colors. You're going to need some podge for this. So if whatever size, they come in different sizes, these bottles. Okay. You're going to need some beads. So whether, like these beads, these came from Michael's, and I have them in two different sizes. They come like this. The bigger ones do have a bigger hole in them, in the top and the bottom. So it depends if you want to use that one or not. The little ones aren't too bad. You can have beads like that. You can use wooden beads. You can paint them if you want to do that. You can use these little pearl type beads. Again, these came from Michael's. Excuse me, these came from Hobby Lobby, and they came in a little bag of, what is that, 3, 6, 9, 10, I think like 12, because I used some already. Oh, here's the little bag. I knew I had it somewhere. Yeah, these came from Hobby Lobby, and these are the beads here. So, but again, use whatever color you want. You don't have to use these. I also have styrofoam balls. I have some white ones. I have some red ones, some bronze ones. I have green. I have all kinds of ones. These, like orangey rust ones, silver, gold. So it's really your choice what you want to use for the head. I have some little accents. These are little bouquets of little flowers that you can use. You can use ribbons, little bows of sorts. You're going to need some lace. So I have two different thicknesses on the lace, but it's up to you which you want to use. So one is a little bit wider than the other. I think this one's a 1/2 inch, and this is probably a little bit more. Yeah, this is 3/4 inch. Just go to your local craft store. You can find them probably more like Hobby Lobby, Joann Fabrics. I guess Walmart might have some too. Okay. If you want to use a trim on it and not the lace, like I did this little one in the gold, the little sequins there, you can get some sequins or some other trim that you can use at the bottom as well. So it's really up to you how you want to decorate these. There's no right or wrong. So let's get started. So like I said, the first thing is to go ahead and paint your seashell. So this is the one that we just painted a second coat on. So I'm just going to really move it off to the side so I don't get any glitter or anything on there yet. And these are the ones that we can work on. Now I'm not going to do them all with you, but I'll just do a couple, and that way you can start making your own. Now this had like a big barnacle on it, but I love that because it gives it character. Okay, once we put a head and a hat and a bow on it, you're not going to see it. We did, is it this one? I did one of these with a group. Where are you? Oh, I know you're here. If it has a little, oh, here it is. See how this one's a little chip in here? It doesn't matter because you're going to go ahead and cover that with the lace. So you're not even going to see that. So let's get started. Now I did paint the bottom sides too. I painted them first, a couple of coats, let that dry or use a hair dryer. Then I did the top. You can do whichever way you want. There's no right or wrong. So let's put those guys off to the side. So we'll do this one. Okay, we'll do one of each of these with you tonight. So the first thing I'm going to do is start doing my lace on this. So I'm going to decide. I'm going to use the smaller one on this one. I'll use the bigger one on that one. Does it really matter? Can I use the same on each? I can, but just want to do it different. Actually, let's reverse it. Let's do this one on this one. Okay. So what we're going to do, I'm going to put my little happy fingers on. These are called finger guards. You can find them in Hobby Lobby, Joann's, Dollar Tree has some now. Dollar Tree sells the pink ones. So you can pretty much find them anywhere. Craft Outlet, I think, sells some too. I'm going to cut this on a little bit of an angle. Okay. Now, because of this design here, I don't want this little piece hanging out. So I'm, just hanging out like it's, hanging on its own. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut that little piece off so it's not hanging out like that. And we're going to go ahead and take some hot glue. Now you got to decide, you got to look at your lace. This is the good side. This is the bad side. And the way you can tell that is by the stitching on it. This looks like it's like one big row, kind of knotty looking. And this is a little bit more smoother looking. Okay. So we're going to start, and we're just going to put a little glue at a time as we go on this. Now these have, like I call it, the little wings up here. So we're going to go up as high as that little wing goes right here, and that's where we're going to start our lace. If you want to start it lower or something, you can. Again, this is your project, and you can do it however you want. So let's get our lace going on there. This is where the happy fingers come into play. And I call them happy fingers because they are happy they're not getting burnt. Let's put a little bit more. And don't put a lot because you don't want it seeping through. And you're just going to go around a little by little. And you can look to make sure this white part, if you want to call it the hem, you don't want that showing on the other side. So that way you know where you are as far as keeping it nice and even on the seashell. And again, we'll go around here. Just bring it around, press it down. And you just keep going till you get to the end of wherever you want it to end. By those little wings is where we are on this one. And the glue dries kind of fast, so keep that in mind when you're doing this. And then when we get up to the top there, we'll go ahead and we're going to cut this on an angle as well. And that's all that it is. See? So let's do the other one. Switch it up and do this one here. This has little hearts on it, which is cute. Now this, because of the way I have it wound on this, I'm going to have to start on the other side. And this I've already pre-cut because I used it on the last one. Actually, that's a little bit too much of an angle. Trim that off. And we'll go. And I like these seashells that have the character on them. Now, some of them you may find have barnacles, like maybe on the top. You can just kind of snap them off, or take a pair of wire clippers and you can just snap it off. And then you can take one of these like sand blocks and you can just sand it down to get rid of all those rough edges from it. And that's all you have to do. So don't think of, oh, because it has all these barnacles on it, you can't use it. You can. And see, we're going to cover up that little divot in there. Just like that. Now this has all these little ridges in there, so just make sure you're getting the glue on there, because sometimes you'll get it on the top and not through it all the way. And you want to make sure you get it down on those ridges too also, because as you press this in, you want to make sure you get all the way down there. And if you put too much glue, it's going to bleed out and it's not going to look pretty. So just squeeze a little bit and you can kind of spread it out a little bit. When you get to the end, besides having all these glue strings, we're going to do the same thing and cut it on an angle up here. Oops. So you have that. And that is your little dress. Now we got to choose on the type of head that we want to use on these guys. Now on this other big one, I used this orange and I did a little red one. I did this with the glue. This one was a little different. I did purple with the white head on that one. I think with this one, let's see, I have plenty of colors in here. I have a red one like that, which looks really pretty. And the other one I have, which kind of reminds me of a little plum. Let's see if I can get it out here for you. Because I just saw it up there and I thought, ooh, that would be a pretty color. Take my little happy fingers off. This red one. I think this one looks pretty. It's like a little cherry plum thing. I think that one looked pretty on that one. And let's do another red one on this one. And these are like styrofoam is all that these are in here. So you can use, like I said, beads, or you can use whatever. So I think these two colors would look pretty on here. Why not? Now, what I'm going to do, because there's no hole or anything here, I'm just going to take my glue gun, just pressed in here, just a little bit, and put some glue on there and a little bit around the edges of it. There's not really any place like a point that sticks up from this, but you can see where the middle is. And it has kind of a little bit of a point. And then I'm just going to press and hold that right in there. And see, it sticks. Now these guys are a little tougher. But still easy. They look tough, but they're not. And the same thing, just put it right in the middle of the seashell up top. And there we have our heads. Oops. And a lot more glue strings. All right, so the next thing that we want to do, we want to go ahead and put something, the glitter on here. So that's where your decoupage comes into play. Oop, I didn't cover mine. Here we go. And we're going to get our, this is just a clear or white one because it's a little bit iridescent. Again, if you want to do a different color or something on there, you can. Whether you want to do red, there's a glue string hanging from there. So I'm going to take it all the way up to these little wings. Oop, my brush is pretty, this is an old brush. And I had it sitting out here, so I'm going to go all the way up here and around the neck. And just paint all the way to the edge of the skirt. And then we'll take our glue, our glitter, and we're just going to sprinkle some on there just like that. Make sure you get the little like kind of wings, and there's your glitter. Let's do the same with this one. Doesn't look like you have much on there, or that I'm painting it on there, so to speak, but it's actually getting on there. It's because it's the same color, white on white. Now this one I'll go up and down because it has the grooves in here, and then I'll come around. And I don't do this, I do it after I put the lace on. Now if you want to put it on, do the decoupage with the glitter beforehand. The only reason why I do it at this point is because then I'd have to wait for it to dry, and I wouldn't be able to do the next steps with it. And besides, the glitter will get all over your fingers. Hi, that's my puppies. Okay, so that's done with the glitter. Hi, sweetie. All right, so now our next step is the side. What are we going to put on the front? So we have little flowers, we have little gemstones. We did a bow and a gemstone. Here's another little flower like this. And this one we just did a bow on. So you can do whatever you want. I have these little white bows here. Now you can make them yourself and pull them, but I have these little white ones, and I think I'm just going to use these little white ones for this project. Just like that. So we're going to glue these guys on here. And we might add a little gemstone in the middle. We'll go through and I'll show you what I mean by that. Now, if you have buttons, you can use a button, a little flower that's a button if you want to, and stick it right in there. I don't know if I have a little flower that's small enough. Now, if it has these backs on the buttons, you can just take your wire cutters and clip it off, and it will, you know, come right off. Oop, that's not what I want. I have so many little things in here. There we go. So see, you could stick a little button on like that and see the difference it makes on it. It just gives it a little pop. If you didn't, again, if you didn't want to use the bow, you can do something like that. I think that's kind of cute on that one. So see, this is the part I'm talking about on the button. So you're going to take it and you're just going to grab it. And I usually just cut my hand just because, and see, it comes right off, just because I don't want it shooting all over the room. Okay, so let's get our glue going. That's the little center because I clipped off the back. So we're going to make sure that stays in there with some glue. There, it just pops back in. Put some glue on the back. I'm going to stick that right there. Look how cute that looks. Adorable. Oops. Come back. It was a glue string I was trying to pull out there. Let me go ahead and put some more glue on that since I pulled it off, just to make sure. There we go. And I'll just wait with those glue strings. There we go. See how cute that is? All right, so this one here, let's see what we have in a little gemstone to put in the middle there, just to give it a little bling bling. And these are what I mean, this is just a bigger version, but these are the little gemstones. These are about 8 millimeters, all of these. So the little ones, that is. So you can pick out a color if you want to. I think I had some clear ones. I think I'm just going to use a clear one on this one. I'm going to put the glue on here just because I don't want to burn my fingers. There we go. And see, it just gives it a little bling. So let's put these back away. So we don't... Okay, so now we got to make the wings. You can use whatever you want. I chose this one as a holiday ribbon that came from Hobby Lobby, and it's just a silver one just like that. It's sheer. I like using the sheer ones on these just because I think it gives it just a little bit more, you can see it better. This one here, you can see I used the red on this one, but I do like using just something a little bit more simple, not as bold. But again, if I paint this a different color, it may work. Now, as far as the size to make the wings, it's really going to depend on the size of your shell because they're all different sizes. So usually what I like to do is just take it just like this. I'll fold it and kind of give it an idea of saying, oh, is that how big I want my wings to be? And I made it just a little bit longer. I'm going to put my happy fingers back on. And what we're going to do, I'm going to kind of pre-start this. I want this bent over because we're going to glue right along on that edge right there. And I just want to make it a little bit easier for myself. So I'm going to take this, run the glue right along the edge. If you put too much, it kind of melts it, so just be careful. Line up my edges. And this is where your happy fingers come into play. And you just overlap it just a little bit. And then press down. Okay? Now, while this is still very, I say, pliable, the glue, if you wait and you let it dry 100%, you're not going to be able to do this next step. And the next step is press it down like this, and we're going to scrunch it. Because once the hot glue dries, you can't do this part to it. It's going to make it so difficult for you. Now, since we used white here, I'm going to use white chenille stem or pipe cleaner. I save all my little pieces here for that reason alone, for little projects like this. You never know when you just need a little something something. So I glued it on top here, so I'm going to take my pipe cleaner here and I'm just going to wrap it because I want that glue side facing into the angel so you don't see it on the outside. I'll do 1 or 2 twists. Now if I see how I'm off on that, I'm just going to go ahead and pull it. Before I finish twisting it, you can pull it up like this to make sure your wings are even. If it isn't, pull a little bit more. When you get it to where you want it, then go ahead and pull it. I didn't pull it from the side where I glued together because I don't want that to come apart. All right, so I'm going to twist it together just like that. Clip it. I leave a little bit. I'm going to bend that down. If you have to, take a pair of pliers and bend it because you don't want anybody getting hurt. Okay, and we'll set those aside for now. We're going to keep this because we're going to probably use that for a halo. So I'm going to do the same thing now to make the wings for this one. Now this has a right and a wrong side. The sparkles, the glitter goes on the outside. Again, deciding how big I want the wings to be. I think that would be a good size. Clip it off. Put my pin back in here so my ribbon, if it goes flying off the table, I won't have to go chasing it. Okay, so again, I'm going to bend it. Now there's a little piece of the wire sticking out here. I'm going to go ahead and clip that. Make sure you get that thrown into the trash so nobody gets steps on it. Happy fingers back on. Grab the glue. Here we go. Fold it over. Press it. And figure out about your halfway mark. Press it together and scrunch it. Now this one, I have that little pop of yellow in there. So I'm going to use a yellow piece, because I think that would look really pretty on this. Again, with the side that you glued facing up, because that's the side we're going to twist tie, have the knot on. Check your sizes. Make sure you're on the same. They're about the same. Take a little bit more. There we go. And then twist tie it. And clip it off. Oops. And fold it down. And there we go. This one was easy to fold. I always run my finger over it, and if I feel a sharp wire, I'll go ahead and I'll cut it off or use the pliers to bend it. All right, so now we got our wings done. Okay, our next part before we put any wings on is to do our halo. So I kept the yellow piece out because I thought that would look cute with this one. So I'll use my finger to start it and see if that's the size that I want it to be, because I just want a little halo. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to take it just like this and twist it on, going each way. I have a lot of paint and glue on my fingers. I will run my fingers on this as well, and if I feel a sharp edge, I'm going to take my pliers and just make sure it's stuck in there, because we don't want anybody sticking their finger on here. Good. All these glue strings. It's like a spider web. All right, so now what I'm going to do with this, now with the pipe cleaners, I'll show you with this one. You can do the halo different ways. So I'm just going to twist this a little bit so you can kind of get the idea. If you want to leave a, I'm going to call it a stem on the halo, you can. And when you do it and you put it to the back, you're going to glue it to the back of the head here and come just a little bit past that if you want that look. If you want to do it just like I have it here, and the way we're going to do it, we're going to sit the halo so it just, I can sit it so it's flat on the head. I can sit it so it's a little back. I don't like to sit it up like this where you have, and let me come a little closer. So if you have it just centered on the top of the head like that, you can have it tilted back, all glued down, or you can have it tilted back where it sticks up. I don't like it to stick up. This is just a personal preference, because sometimes if you hit it enough, it may come off. So I like to make sure that mine is glued on pretty good. So I'm going to glue on the back where I twist tied it all, and a little dab on the front there. Take my angel. I want it to be just a little bit back on the head. And then just push it down, and then she has her little halo. See? So this one here, we're going to do this one in white. I could choose silver on it, or I could choose a red. Doesn't matter, your choice. Figure out the size of the halo. I use my fingers because my fingers are pretty much around, so to speak. And she's going to get that size halo. So we'll start wrapping it together, twist tying it around. This one's going to be too long on this side because I don't want it to come halfway up the head or anything like that, just enough in the back. Crimp it down. Crimp that side down. Oop, that one didn't come as good as I wanted it. There we go. Oh, sticking out just a hair. There we go. Okay, so let's put her halo on. Do the same thing. Back where I twist tied it, a little dab of glue, and in the center up top. And glue it on her head. Just hold it down for a few seconds. Just use a little dab of glue, because if you put too much, it's going to bleed out, you know, from underneath her little halo. And there we go. She has her little halo. So the next part we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and put the tie on here, okay? And that's what's going to hold them. So I have some silver tie. Now this is just that thin little thread that you can find. You can go to the craft department. It's like when you do gift wrapping. There's gold. It doesn't come on these things like this. Sometimes you may find it, but it comes just wadded up in a circle. I put it on my spool rolls, some empty ones I had, just to keep them from getting all those little knots and stuff in them. Now the size of this is about 9 inches long, okay? If you find you get a little kinky thing like that, just take your nails and or between your fingers, you can do that, and just run it down and pull it out. And then that little really like bent up piece, see how it came out? It relaxes it a little bit. So I'm just going to take these and I'm going to tie them together. Just make a knot. Apologize if my fingers, I think I said that earlier, I've been painting today, so I got a lot of paint still on my fingers. Just pull it tight. Let's get another one for the other one. Now you can use the, you know, the really thin ribbon like we made out of the bows. You can make that too as your tie holders, your holders on this as well. It's really up to you what you want to do. So there's multiple ways you probably can, or different products that you can use for the accents on this. So just be creative, but this is just one way. All right, so we got those. So now what I do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to press this on. This is a little embossing tool that I have. I will put the glue. Now I don't mind this little tail part sticking out from the knot here, because you're not going to see that because it's going to be on the under the wings. So I'm going to put the glue on here. Now you want to put it on the back of her head. And I use this because the glue doesn't stick to this, except for all those glue strings. And I just push this down to make it push down instead of my fingers. And we're going to have to put a little bit more glue because I was playing around there and it didn't stick. I waited and it dried up a little bit. So let's just put a little glue on the bottom here. You can also use your glue gun tip to help push it down as well. If you put it further down on her, then what's going to happen, you're going to have an angel that's going to be looking down, and we don't want an angel looking down. The glue doesn't stick to this because it's metal. So you can just rule it off and take it off. All right, so that's one. Let's go ahead and do our other one here. So again, if you want to put the glue on here, you can do that as well. Then put your knot or your tie on there. Press down. And it's done. Okay, now our next part is to do our wings. So the part where you twist tied it tight, that's the side we're going to glue. So we're going to put the glue on here. And we're going to go right where the head and the base of that like little wing neck thing is on her on this one. Make sure your wings are straight. And then you can pull your wings up because these have wire in it. You can make it really poofy in the circle. If you just put your finger in and bend the wire, you can make it like a big poofy bow. Or if you don't want it that way, you can just pull it out and make it more flatter. And there's one angel. So let's get the other one, get her wings on. Come here, little girl. There we go. Oops, glue gun didn't want to come out. Put some glue on there. Same thing right on the base of her head there. Poof at her wings. And there you go. Two cute little angels made with different types of shell, but look how cute they came out. Oops, let me hold this one up so you can see it too. There's this one, and there's this one. And like I said, on this one, if you don't put the glitter on it, but you can take like a Sharpie or like a paint pen, and you can go ahead and write somebody's name or year on it. And that's what's nice about these. Now I do go ahead and spray these with a clear spray. I just do like a 1 or maybe 2 coat on it, just to hold the glitter in, because you don't want the glitter to come off. And that you can find in any of your craft stores or even hardware stores. It's just a clear spray to seal it. And that's it. So you have some really cute little angels made with different colors, different patterns. And there you go. And these make really nice. You can put them on gifts, give them, do baby showers, do wedding favors, Christmas ornaments. Angels are great for all year round. So thank you for coming to Nona's Nutty Crafts. I hope you enjoyed this simple little craft, and please subscribe to my page and follow me, because I'd like to do more crafts with you all, and I like having fun. So see you next time. Bye-bye.